you are going to understand a lot of things regarding your workout. There are 5 elements which we are going to cover in this, and I would like to introduce to our speaker. Next slide, please. So today we have our host and speaker Rathijit Mallick. So I would like to introduce him. He is like the performance coach and technical head at WildFit NIBM. So about him, he has done his diploma in personal training from K11 School of Fitness Sciences. He holds a CPR and AED holder degree, MSc in microbiology from Pondicherry University, 4 years of experience in clinical research as a molecular biologist and a biology mentor, global STEM education promoter. So yeah, that is what Rathijit here. And today he will be taking you through this whole webinar. And yeah, moving forward to him. I will also request everyone to put all the questions in the chat box. Keep this webinar as interactive as you can. And thumbs up, all the emojis you can use here. Yes, moving to Rathijit.
Thank you, Kiran. Thanks so much for the kind introduction. Aniket, can I move to the next slide? Thanks. So I hope the slide is visible and I'm audible to all of you. Good morning, everyone, and welcome to today's session. Today, the topic is basics to brilliance, 5 elements. We are going to talk about all these 5 elements. Some of you are already aware of these things. Some of you are probably not so much aware, and maybe this can be an introductory session for all of you. So today's agenda is very clear. We are going to simplify fitness for all of you. Usually people are confused about fitness because there are too many things going on at once. There are too many workouts, too many too many opinions, too many instructions, and less action and less guidance, less guidance in terms of what exactly you need to follow and what needs to be done. So there are people who are following random exercises without any direction whatsoever, and there's no clarity around any of these things. So we are going to, the whole point of today's session is to be able to crack some of the basic things which make 5 components of fitness. And what we're hoping is by the end of the session, you'll have a clarity, you'll have some idea about what actual true fitness means, what are the 5 core components of fitness, and maybe you'll be able to, once we go ahead with the slides, maybe you'll be able to design your own program card without causing any burnout when you're scheduling your own workout routine. So that's the whole agenda. So let me start this session by asking a question. You can raise your hand and maybe we can take it from there. So how many of you actually have, followed a program card? Maybe you did it for a couple of weeks and then you felt tired or you were confused or you just got sick of it because it took you nowhere. How many of you are actually one of those people who felt, yeah, obviously. I'm one of those people who, when I started my fitness journey, when I started my transformation, or when I actually got into this field, there was too much information. It was much before Instagram, so there were a lot of videos on YouTube, and too many things were said, and too many things were communicated by a lot of people, and there was no proper, guidance on which was the accurate information, which was the one which needed to be followed in order to get results in real time. So people were, and people still are, actually randomly following a lot of things, and they're trying every single thing, every new workout which is coming into the market every single day, and they're not seeing any results because that's not sustainable. So it's not about just doing a lot of activities. It's not about trying too many workouts. You'll see, obviously, you'll see a lot of influencers talk about and coming up with new exercises which look ridiculous, by the way. And people are like, okay, let me try this, but in contradiction, they can't even do maybe 10 or 20 push-ups. So that's really something which is kind of funny. And this is not about doing more. We will be doing the right things consistently in order to get results. Aniket, we can move to the next slide. All right. So, true fitness, it's always a balance. It's nothing extreme. So when we talk about fitness, it's not just like doing a lot of repetitions in the gym or lifting a lot of weight. It's majorly following there are five things. There are a couple of things which are like really important, and it's never about just fat loss. It's never about just muscle gain. And some people have this notion that if they're sweating more on the gym floor, maybe they're actually working out a lot or working really hard. Sweating has nothing to do with this. I'll ask you this question in the end, like if that's the case, if sweating makes you lose fat, then you standing in the middle of the road in summer under the tree probably would make you lose a lot of like kgs of fat in just 1 hour. So that's not really the case. So perfect is usually composed of five components, and these five components, when they work together in synchronization, they give you best results, attainable results. So these are the five components which we usually know or are aware of. If you're not aware of, then these are the components: an ideal body composition, cardiorespiratory endurance, muscular endurance, musculoskeletal strength, and mobility and flexibility. So these are five components which are mentioned here. There's one more which has not been mentioned, and people usually tend to overlook or completely avoid touching that topic, or they don't want to talk about it, is rest and recovery. People completely ignore this fact that rest and recovery is the most important thing, crucial thing, which actually leads you to, which leads you towards achieving the goals which you have set for yourself. So all these things combined together, they can give you, mm, you know, uh, um, they can help you achieve results in a same time duration. But if you ignore one, and your progress will be slowed down. So balancing all these things together in the at all times makes your fitness journey more sustainable over a long period of time. We can move to the next slide, Aniket. All right. So let's start with body composition. Even though it's part of the like one of the components of like five core components of fitness, here you don't actually have to do much apart from following the right kind of nutrition regime. So body composition, what it is, it's just a ratio of your fat mass to lean mass. So when you're standing on a scale weighing balance, you think, oh, okay, like you measure your weight today, and after 10 or 20 days you measure your weight again, and you're like, oh, I have dropped 3 kgs or 4 kgs, but you don't actually know what you have lost in that due course of time, whether you've lost muscle mass or you've lost bone density or you've lost fat mass. You never know. There's no way of knowing that. A simple weighing balance can never tell you any of these things. For that, you need to do body composition analysis, just so that you have an idea what exactly is it that you're losing. And what you need to lose is body fat if you're someone who's obese or who has that kind of goal in mind. But in general, body composition is basically the ratio of your fat mass to lean mass. Lean mass is basically your bones, your muscles, your soft tissues, water retention in your cells, all those things. And just body weight cannot tell you any of these things in general. And why does it matter? There are two. Let's say people like person A and person B. Let's take example. Me and Aniket, for that matter, we both might look healthy on the outside. We both probably have the similar weight, quote unquote, on the weighing balance. But one of us probably will be much more much healthier than the other one, more energetic, and much more much stronger than the other one. It's only because the body composition is completely different, and there are other things which are coming into play here, which makes all these differences between two of us. So even though the weight category is same, we both have the similar height, similar age, everything same. Still, there can be significant differences internally, which one needs to know in order to in order to touch base on the other components of fitness. So a good body composition usually leads to improved metabolism. It reduces joint stress because your body is usually able to carry a particular body weight for your age and your depending on your sex. More than that can cause a lot of joint stress. It can provide you with better energy levels. It can give you more strength. It can give you it can provide better movement efficiency. So all of these things together, when you talk about body composition, if you have a fat loss goal in mind, if you want to gain muscle mass, or if you're going for body recomp, for all those things, not a single exercise is the only thing that can give you all these results. It's not a magic pill. There's no magic exercise which can lead you to all these things. It's a combination, it's an amalgamation of all these things together: a perfect training strategy, a routine program card, nutrition, recovery. All these things together, when they come in picture, they lead you to an ideal body composition, which is ideal for your healthy lifestyle on a long run. We can move to the next slide, Aniket. Okay, next one is cardiorespiratory endurance, second component. Now, cardiorespiratory endurance in general can loosely translate to the term stamina. So, how long can you do something without getting fatigued or without getting tired? So, cardiorespiratory endurance is basically the ability of your heart, your lungs, all your blood vessels which are running through your body, all of their ability to supply oxygenated blood to your entire body during any particular activity. So let's say you're sitting in a chair, you're watching a TV, or you're cooking in the kitchen for you're riding a bike, anything, or you're walking down the stairs, so you're taking a brisk walk. Any of those activities will require you to be uh, is going to require you to build a certain level of endurance. There are people who can walk only 3 minutes on normal floor, no inclination, nothing, but they'll feel tired because their cardiorespiratory capacity is very, very low. It's not supporting that kind of activity, which is a very bad way of representing your health. So, if you, let's say, you are interested in taking a like flight of stairs, or you want to go for a hike, or you're on a trip, your cardiorespiratory endurance will determine how quickly you recover from an activity, or how quickly you get tired, how fast you recover from the activity which you are doing, and how energetic you feel throughout the day. So all those things have a real life implication. So direct transition or it translates to real life, where all those things have real life benefits. Climbing a flight of stairs without getting breathless, playing with kids, jumping around, faster recovery between workouts. All these things are real life benefits of having a really superior cardiorespiratory endurance. Now, the examples of these things, like how to attain cardiorespiratory endurance, is by doing simple things: brisk walk, cycle, swim, low impact cardio things. If you want to do, like, let's say you're doing 100, 150 squats, or you're doing lat pull down with a moderate weight, you can do all of these things and you can still achieve cardiorespiratory endurance through muscular endurance. I'm going to get to the muscular endurance in the next slide, but this is how you can achieve cardiorespiratory endurance, which will help you, which will complement your other activities in daily life. Next slide, please. Okay, muscular endurance. Now, this is where something gets a little trickier and people get confused. Like, if we're already talking about cardiorespiratory endurance, what is muscular endurance? We know muscular strength. Like, okay, I can pull this off, push this weight, all of those things. What does muscular endurance mean? Again, same thing: endurance, stamina. Simple as that. Muscular endurance, your muscles' ability to do something for a long period of time without getting fatigued. So you are putting some kind of effort. You're watching a TV, you're watching a movie. Let's say you went to watch Dhurandhar, for that matter, 4 hours long movie. You are sitting there without taking any break, and without being feeling tired, without getting fatigued. You're cooking in the kitchen for 45, 60 minutes. You're giving a presentation. You're socializing with people, standing on your feet. All of these things are daily life examples of muscular endurance. Every time, anytime, anything you're doing, everything requires muscle involvement. It can be either in a form of muscular strength or muscular endurance. You do something more than 2-3 minutes, it becomes in the zone of endurance. It's an endurance activity. So all of those things can be better, and you can achieve cardiorespiratory endurance through muscular endurance. You do something for a longer period of time without getting tired, you're done. Bam, you achieve both at the same time. So you go for carrying groceries, come from fish market, vegetable market, you're training, you're focusing on your training, you're sitting with good posture. Let's say you're pulling maybe a moderate weight of lat pull down or a bicep curl, and you can actually, you are able to do 15, 20, 30, 50 repetitions. You go through fitness testing, fitness assessment, and you are able to do more squats, more push-ups, more pull-up than the last time. Automatically it gets in the zone of muscular endurance. That helps you on a long run to sustain any activity without like fatiguing yourself. This is important because this doesn't have to be about it. It's never about lifting heavy weight. It's about lasting too long, lasting longer. How long can you withstand a particular activity? And this again has a real life implication. You can, how well you can actually do daily life scenarios. Everything that we do here at the studio, everything you do at the gym, all of those things transcend. They have a real life like functionality in daily day life where you can do certain things without getting tired. Simple as that. That's all. Next slide. Okay. Now, musculoskeletal strength. Now, here there are two terms involved in this term: musculoskeletal, muscle and skeletal. So, anything, let's say your skeleton, bones, and everything, muscles which are wrapped around your bones. So, these are basically lean muscle mass which we're talking about. There are other soft muscles which are there in the body, like bowel movements may help karta hai. There are like heart is a big chamber of like soft tissues, soft muscles. But we're only interested in knowing the lean muscle mass, which is usually wrapped around all the bones which are there in the bodies. So the strength which it generates, the force it generates to do a certain activity. If you want to do something, let's say you want to punch someone in the face, and someone did something to you and you're like really pissed and you want to punch someone in the face, and it doesn't matter whether it's a boy or a girl. I'm a feminist, so I'm going to say like I'm going to take both the names, both male and female. You want to punch someone in the face and you want to do it really really hard so that they remember you for the rest of their lives. If you want to do that, if you want to punch with that kind of force, then you'll have to generate that kind of force which comes from your muscles, and that strength comes from your lean muscle mass. And that force, the ability of the muscle to generate that force, will actually determine how much strength you hold. Right. So that strength is essential because it again it protects joints, it improves your posture. When you have more muscles in the body or you're working your muscles on a daily basis, your posture will improve. Your daily job will be easier. You can carry a bucket of water like from 100 meters or 200 meters. You can take a flight of stairs. You can jump around. You can lift weights. Let's say your bike has fallen on the ground and you want to pick it up. All of those things require your muscular activity, and you can do those things if you have good musculoskeletal strength. And again, definitely, it aids in fat loss. It builds confidence for beginners who are just starting to get their get their hands dirty on the fitness journey. So people usually have this notion that beginners, if they start lifting weights, they will become bulky. None of like no amount of weight can make anyone bulky unless you are eating like let's say 3,000, 4,500 calories in a day, and what kind of food you're eating. So it completely depends on what food you're eating, what your food intake is like. Weight training has never in the history made anyone bulky, nor is it going to do that in the future. And the other thing, which is the biggest misconception, which we a lot of women probably have been in the scenario and you've experienced it. You go to a gym, immediately your trainer puts you on the treadmill and you're restricted to the cardio section only. You're not allowed, or you have this taboo where you think if you lift weights, if you lift iron, you'll look like a male, you look like your male counterparts. If that were true, then PT Usha would have looked like Mike Tyson way back. That would have happened like much earlier. But that doesn't happen, and the females which you see, who you see, are they look like males or they look muscular. They're usually on performance enhanced drugs because they have certain goals in their minds. They are athletes and they are into those kind of sports specific program where it requires for them to be on certain kind of medication for to be able to perform better. Yeah, next slide. We can move to the next one. Okay. Mobility and flexibility, which another like it's a very good topic, which like I love the most because this is one of my favorite topics: mobility and flexibility. People usually think this is negotiable. This is fine. Like if you skip on some days or if you don't do it, it's absolutely fine. Just go weight train and come back home. Um, The basic difference between mobility and flexibility, why you need to do mobility movements, mobile movements, it says like the name suffices itself. You need to do it in a mobile fashion. That's why you do it before you start your main workout, because that's where you are actually warming up the tissue. You're warming up your heart rate. You're preparing yourself for the main phase of workout. Then when you go for when you're done with your workout session, you go for static stretches or flexibility stretches. They help you stretch the muscle so that you can achieve a much better length of the muscle than before, which will help you with numerous things. It helps you achieve greater range of motion. It helps you perform better. Your movement becomes better. You are able to do activities like your performance is enhanced. You recover better. Your soreness goes away. All those things are side effects or byproducts of doing flexibility training like rigorously. Um, Usually it's ignored because people think this is not intense, but I sweat like a dog. So in the first 10 minutes of mobility drills, I'm like done, like I'm already into the program. But if you're not sweating enough, then that means you're probably not warming up enough. You're probably just doing this, done. Okay, mobility drills. That should not be the case. Spend at least good solid 7 to 10 minutes in doing the warm-ups so that you can prepare yourself for the main phase of workout. And all like absence of all of these things can lead to many side effects like pain, stiffness in your muscles, injury. Chances of injury become much higher. Movements become inefficient, and you load yourself with a lot of weight, but you're not able to achieve the full range of motion which you're supposed to with that kind of weight. So all of these things, when you do flexibility training, mobility training, this is not just because you're flexible or you want to be flexible. It's because you want to be functional. The functionality comes in picture when you're actually achieving or attempting all these factors. We can move to the next slide, Aniket. Okay, now, if fitness is so simple, now that we have talked about all the 5 components, if all of these are so simple to discuss, then why do beginners fail so much? Why do they fail to see results? Below are the ones, some of these factors are the reasons, are common mistakes why people usually don't see results. You're walking into a fitness organization, you're either only doing cardio, not training strength, or you're only just into weight training, and you're not at all into conditioning program, you're not interested in doing aerobic training, you're ignoring recovery, stretching, mobility, and all those things, and you follow like every single week you're just changing your workout, you're downloading some program from some like thanks to Instagram University, there are a lot of people who are like giving unsolicited advices. So you're like, okay, हाँ, आज ये करते हैं, कल वो करेंगे, परसों वो करेंगे, and you're not following anything consistently, at least for a month minimum. That's where these problems come, because you're not seeing results because you're not consistent with one particular program card. And you're just, downloading program. You're not learning how to design your own program card. You're copying from somebody else. You see someone do something, you're like, aaj ye karte hain. This looks interesting. This looks intriguing. That never helps anyone. You won't initially probably it will show some results, but after a point it will hit plateau. You won't see any results at all. So we can go to the next one. This is where probably exercise selection comes in. The strategy why we need to select a particular group of exercise or one particular exercise in order to achieve results. Beginners usually don't need a lot more exercises, they need better exercises. So if a beginner exercise should be easy to perform, safe to repeat, and maybe sustainable enough for you to carry out over a period of time. Okay, it should be effective for all the multiple muscle groups, because you're just getting started. You don't need to train for every single muscle group in your body. You don't need to go for a growth split. You need to go for something which will give you a holistic effect on growing muscles, which can be like targeting every single muscle group in your body through some movements which are targeting everything, like a full body movement. Full body movement targets every single thing in your body. It's taken care of. So when you're designing a program, that this question comes in the picture, you got to ask yourself this: what am I training? Why am I training it, and how often should I do it? So what am I training? Am I training for cardio? Am I training for weight? Am I training for a sports specific program? Am I an athlete, or am I just like going for general physical preparedness? Why am I training it? will, like, what is the goal? Is my goal fat loss? Is my goal body recomp? Is my goal muscle gain? What is it? Or is my goal just to, like, do some activities just to be fit? So the reason why you are supposed to be doing whatever you're supposed to be doing, and how often should you do it? Like, once, like, should you go for, like, chest, like, every single muscle group every single day, or you should go for body or upper lower, push pull leg, too many things, HIIT, yoga, like, how often you should do any of these things? Should you repeat it once, twice, thrice in a week? All those components, that whole questionnaire comes, like, boils down to one thing. Like, you gotta touch everything, all of the five components which we have discussed, to gain maximum results. So when you touch base on all those five components, automatically you answer your question. Okay, I am programming this thing. It's a 3:2 ratio. 3 days of strength, 2 days of cardio. 3 days of strength, my weight training, muscular endurance, muscular strength is getting targeted. 2 days of cardio, muscular endurance, cardiovascular endurance, done. All those are also done. Now rest and recovery, mobility and flexibility are happening every single day. Recovery, I'm also taking rest for 2 days, 5 days of training. And your nutrition, your water intake, and all those things are also on point. So body recomp, everything is done in that one, like, questionnaire. Like, when you attempt to answer that question, all of these questions, these three questions, you end up with this particular rule, beginner rule, that okay, I have touched every single component of the basic, like, core components of fitness. Done. Good to go. Next one. Next slide. And this is also exactly why we, like, and WildFit, we are promoting compound exercises more, because they help you gain more, they help you gain better, and your chances of gaining muscle mass for beginners, at least, it's much more, like, much heavier than any other person. So you gain more muscle, you reduce the chances of injury, you reduce over and over again, and you incorporate mobility drills, assisted exercises, a lot of structural movements, all done. You're good to go. No, like, nothing to be worried about. Now, when we talk about exercise selection in action, um, usually people focus on training muscle groups. There are 640 muscle groups. If that's the case, then you have to train for nose muscle as well. Like, you're gonna try every single muscle which is there in your body, nose muscle, ear muscle, everything. So that's practically impossible. If you want to target the muscles which are actually important and which play, like, which are crucial for training, which target every single thing, then don't go for training muscle group. Okay, instead of training muscles, train movements, movement patterns. And you can identify the movement patterns by categorizing them in these 5 or 6 categories, like squat pattern, hinge movement, push, pull, core and carry, and mobility and stability. If you have these 5 topics or subtopics, then it becomes very, very easy for you to identify what all movements you need to do from these patterns, movement patterns, which cover every single thing. These are all of these movements which are mentioned here. You can take a screenshot, you can, like, go in detail on your own, just to see what all movements have been mentioned here. These ones target everything. The entire body can be targeted with these patterns, these movement patterns. So focus on movement pattern instead of targeting muscle groups. That will take you somewhere which is, less practical, more rigorous, more exhausting, because you'll be like, अच्छा इतने सारे muscle group है, क्या ही कर ले, सब कुछ करना होगा फिर. Then you'll be there 3 hours training in the gym. That's not a solution. That's not sustainable. So go for something which gives you better solution, in a very short period of time. Okay, you need to just identify these kind of movement patterns. So pick something, one each from one, like squat pattern, body weight squats, high hinge pattern, pick Romanian deadlift, push pattern में incline push up, pull pattern, lat pull down, core में dead bug, or farmer's carry, mobility and stability, which is there every single day. You gotta do it all the time, regardless of whatever you're doing. Okay, we can move to the next slide. All right. So beginner friendly program. It can be a 4-day program, because it's a first one. It's for beginners. So maybe let's not get carried away and go for a 5-day or 6-day program. A 4-day program can be sufficient for people. 2 days of strength training, full body basic movements. 2 days of cardio and core, low impact. Some days steady state. Some weeks maybe a little bit of low intensity interval training sort of thing. And mobility and flexibility are there every single day. This helps you get results, like the results which you're looking for: better fat loss, better recovery, maximum muscle gain. And like you don't need to go for bro split, like okay, like chest, back, bicep, tricep, shoulder, or go for I don't know, push pull leg. None of those things. If you're a beginner, just simply, as simple as that, go for full body movements. That takes care of every single thing. For beginners, more is not better. Better is better. So try to train the whole body multiple times, but also at the same time, don't go for something the really heavy movements consecutively every single day. Give some gap in between and spread it across really well so that you can get enough rest and recovery. And definitely, you need to allow yourself to rest yourself well enough so that you can recover from these micro trauma, whatever you're causing in the studio. So for beginners, full body, good. Upper, lower, full body, good. Upper, lower, also good. All of those things are good strategies for beginners. Next slide. Okay. This is a ready to use program card which anyone can use for, like, there are full body strength on day 1 and day 3. Day 2 is for cardio and core. Day 4 also cardio and mobility. So basic, like all the movements which I picked in the previous slide, everything's there in day 1. All of these things target every single thing of your body. You do anything, core is always engaged, core is always targeted. You do squat, your leg, entire lower body compartment is taken care of. You do chest press, your chest, shoulder, tricep, done. Lat pull down, lats, your rhomboids, your biceps, all those things are taken care of. Plank. Again, isometric movement, every single thing is working out. Hip mobility, you do it just for the sake of it because you want to be better at any particular movement. You pick any of these things. Like if you know how to design the movements based on movement pattern, it becomes absolutely easy. You don't even have to get into the details of volume, intensity, frequency, none of those things. You just pick the movement pattern and you repeat it twice a week. All good. 45 minutes, 60 minutes, solid workout without causing any burnout and without getting confused, without feeling you're lost in the sea of all of these information which is floating out there. All right. Next slide. Next slide. Yeah. Okay, this is one thing I don't know how much. Like, okay, this is something logical. So regression to progression logic. If you wanna know, like for yourself, or if you're a coach, you wanna go for, if you wanna take this approach to train a client, then let's say you are taking an example of the movement squat, and you wanna progress from basic movement, which is like a box squat, because the client has some sort of posterior chain stiffness, or you, for example, if you're the client, if you're the person who you want implement it on, you have some posterior chain movement alongside your mobility and flexibility drills. What you can do is, in order to achieve good posture, good range of motion, good form and technique, you can start with box squat or bench squat. From there, you can progress to goblet squat. Next step, third step is front squat. That's like the ultimate advanced movement pattern which you can achieve to target your quads. Similar thing for push. You want to go for push-ups, you want to go for barbell press, maybe start with normal push-up, wall push-up, do incline push-up, go for dumbbell press, flat dumbbell press, bam, go for barbell press. You're already there to perform any of these movements. So progress, like one of the major mistakes which people make while progressing is they change, they shift, they hop from one movement to the other, or one program card to the other very quickly. They change the program card every week. If you change a program card, even like everyone knows, any habit, building any habit takes roughly 20-21 days. If you want to get better at something, or if you want to master something, if you want to improve the quality of your movement, you'll have to spend minimum a month on that particular movement. The moment you get better, you think you can get, like, you are better at it, probably progress to the next one. Or in the same movement, increase the weightage, increase the poundage, increase repetition, increase your range of motion, work on your technique. All of those things can be can be ways in making progression. Progressive overload doesn't just mean changing weights, or keep changing your exercise pattern, movement pattern. You can keep the same exercise, you can still progress by incorporating all these things. You can introduce speed, you can introduce range of motion, you can introduce more sets, more repetitions. All of those things are ways of introducing progression. Next slide. Okay, so finally, the only thing that the things that actually do matter, and what you don't need, like people usually give this kind of. Okay, genetics definitely does play a role. I'm not lying, but you don't need perfect genetics to start lifting weights or start following a particular like a good program. You don't need perfect genetics to step into the studio, step into the gym, and start moving your body and start doing things which will actually help you achieve your results. You don't need fancy equipments because in our studio, at least, we don't have a lot of instruments. We are mostly gravitating towards teaching basic fundamental movements, body weight movements, which have direct functionality in real life. So you master those things, then you think about going for fancy equipments. You don't need any of those things. You don't need an extreme routine. You don't need a 21-day challenge. You don't need to cut short on your training. You don't need anything that's like limited. That's short-lived. What you do need is you need clear understanding. You need balanced programming. So if you have a clear-cut idea of what are movements you need to target, what are things that should be there in your program card, you're good to go. Simple execution, call to action, all of those things will make it better. And if you want to be, if you want to see yourself somewhere in the month, in the course of 6 months, next 6 months, 8 months, just be consistent. Consistency is much more important than intensity. So just be consistent, adhere to the program, do the things which you're supposed to diligently give give your all into following the routine, following the regimen, and you're all good. You'll be there. Fitness like shouldn't be this complicated. It should be sustainable and easy, and it should be accessible to everyone who's interested in changing their lifestyle. Next slide. Okay. Is this the last slide? This is the last slide, right? Aniket? Yeah. All right. Okay. So, yeah. I mean, I think I'm done. Like, I'll end the webinar with saying this. Like, don't fall for all those online programs which people offer from US, UK, India, whatever it is. Like, just you see them, you're like, okay, they'll be coming and they'll tell you like, oh, I built my body by doing just body weight movements. That's utter nonsense. Like like ridiculousness at its peak. So if you want to do something, like just follow what you need to follow based on this. You do your own research. This is just an introduction. You do your own research. You see what exactly is science-backed mechanism into achieving results to design a program card which is effective and efficient. You follow those things. Don't follow anything extreme. Don't follow anything which is shortcut, which has a shortcut. Don't have to punish yourself and increase the difficulty level. There's a very thin line of difference between increasing challenge and increasing difficulty. You don't need to increase difficulty. You need to increase challenge in your workout. You need to make it more rigorous. So do those things, develop your skills, overload on a like over a period of time to progress. Consistency is the key. Adhere to the program and follow your nutrition. Follow the 5 core components or 6 core components which we have discussed, and I think that's good enough. Like if it's your fitness program should be sustainable enough for the rest of your life. You don't need anyone's help, to be honest. And that's all. I think I'll end it here. I don't want to take any more time. Thank you so much for coming here. Thank you so much for attending this webinar on a Sunday. And I hope it made sense to some of you. And yeah, like the room is open for questions if you have any questions. Thank you.
Yes, so before we move to questions, we have some in the comments. So I really want to thank you, Rathijit. This was such an eye-opening webinar, and it was very crisp, so interactive, and the facts which you like told, the reality check which you have given is totally amazing. So yeah, we will move to the questions. You can just go through the questions and answer it one by one. And anyone who have all the different questions, you can put it in the comment box and we'll go through it.
Okay, let's start from there. Okay. Mm-hmm. Avinash Rathore. Yes, absolutely right. We need to know the name of the joints. It's our responsibility as performance coaches for sure. Can build and maintain muscle even at 40, 50 plus. Yes, I have a client who's 51. I have a client who's 49 and they're building muscle. So yes, it's absolutely possible. Even though we know that after 30, it slows down. Your muscle gaining capacity slows down, but definitely it can happen. It's not like it diminishes completely. Okay. Uh, why do I lack motivation despite signing up for best gyms in town? Okay. Because probably like if someone like I'm assuming like you're asking on behalf of someone, if someone goes looking out for best gyms in town, it's always external motivation. So people who have this kind of motivation where either someone's marriage is coming up in 3 months or someone's birthday is in 6 months, so they want to get fit. Those kind of external stimulus never seems to help. Or if you're always swayed by fancy equipments or red color instruments which are like laid down on the floor, there are too many things. You're like, yes, I want to join here. That will not help you because all of those you need to know exactly what or how you need to use those instruments or equipments. It's not going to help you achieve results. What is actually going to be more sustainable, what is going to get you results is consistency and a clear idea of what you're looking for. The gym will have probably one things, but you need to know what you're looking for, what your goals are. If you have your goals set and if it's sustainable, if it's like long lasting, then you don't need too many things. Even with body weight, like for that matter, with body weight, you can achieve a lot of things. People who do calisthenics, they have superior strength, they have great muscle mass, they achieve all those things through just body weight movements. And it's a thing like your body has been equipped in a way where it can provide everything. It has all the joints, it has all the lever system. You can achieve great muscle mass just by doing calisthenics, but you need to know what attracts you or what motivates you. If it's the fancy gym which motivates you to join the gym for to like seeking results, it's never going to happen. Why do I experience muscle loss and tend to get in the earlier unhealthy version as soon as I stop working out? Okay, so if like maybe one of those components which we discussed, maybe one of those things is not, or maybe more than one of those things is missing from your program. Either you're not eating properly, your diet is not on point, but you're training vigorously and you're breaking down your muscles more than you're repairing it. And rest and recovery. Again, one more thing. If you're not resting well enough, you're training every single day. You're that kind of a person who's like, glass half full sort of person, and you're like, okay, हर दिन तोड़ेगा body को. Obviously, you're not gonna get any results because you're not letting your body recover from that stress which you're causing at the gym. So those can be some of the reasons why probably you stop seeing results. And as soon as you stop working out, maybe when you stop working out, you go back to your unhealthy version and you do all the things which you used to do before. So automatically, and muscles have this weird thing like if you stop training, then it goes into detraining mode. So definitely, it has the holding capacity for a certain period of time. But again, after that time, the muscle loses its mass over a period of time after some point. So definitely, you lose the gains which you saw in 6 months. And genetics again plays a major role. You see some people who have not been to the gym, people who have not done anything in their lifetime, but still they look amazing. They have great muscle mass, more than like a lot of us. It's just genetics which you cannot help. So the comparison kills, comparison usually kills the joy of finding meaning in life. So if you start comparing yourself with someone, again, that's one of the problematic area. Archana ma'am, okay, we talked about women not essentially start looking muscular with strength training, but if someone wants to look muscular, yes, you can achieve certain level of um, muscle mass. You can look muscular naturally to an extent, but after that, if you want to look more muscular, since women have these two female like hormones like progesterone and estrogen, they have contradictory effect to muscle building, and testosterone is directly associated with that, which is why males have certain kind of physique than women. There's nothing feministic about it. It's just purely biological. So if you want to look certain way, if you want to put on more muscles, then probably you have to go for those kind of performance enhancement strategies where you look more muscular. And yeah, if that's your goal, then definitely, yeah, not a problem. You just need to probably buckle up more and train a little harder than men in order to achieve what men can achieve a little quickly because of the hormonal reasons. Is it okay to do Tanveer? Is it okay to do cardio and strength training on the same day? Yes. So if you have if you have a tight schedule where you are not able to come to the gym for more than 3 days, then you can integrate cardio along with your strength training sessions. The strategy definitely changes. Like you can either do it alongside your weight training session, or you can do it in the end in terms of calories. Like maybe you complete 100 or 150 calories, and then again throughout the day, if you walk around, you after every single meal, you're taking some steps. You're completing 5,000 to 8,000 steps. Should be fine. But given like your nutrition recovery and all those things are on point, obviously that's like it's a rule of thumb. It goes without saying, even if I don't mention it. 120 minutes cardio to reach 150 minutes of proceed with strength training. Maybe probably do the cardio after in the end of the weight training session. Example to doing circuit strength training on different muscle group, which would have cardio effects. And yeah, cardio and strength can be combined together in one particular set. That and then that's also an effective way of reducing the time and maximizing your caloric burn. When you complement your weight training sessions every single set with some sort of cardio movements, that enhances your caloric burn, and also it takes you to a zone where you burn more after your weight training session is over, after burn effect, like the epoch thing which we talk about, excessive post oxygen consumption. That also happens more when you complement those things. So it's just basically loading, like overloading yourself with activities. Yeah, absolutely. How to break Plato? Rishabh Soni. How to break which Plato? Can you be more specific? Which Plato we are talking about here? Till then, I'll answer Tanvi's one. Is muscle soreness indicator of workout stimulation, muscle building? Soreness is not really associated with muscle building, that's for sure, because when you're doing an activity, you're breaking down your muscles, you're causing micro trauma in your muscles, like in your muscle fiber. So it's an indication of stress, like what kind of stress you're putting on your muscles. Muscle gain, muscle building will depend on the post exercise, whatever you're doing, how much, what your nutrition looks like, whether you're recovering well or not, what your hydration status looks like. All those things will decide whether you'll build muscle or you'll lose muscle mass. So soreness is not an indicator of that thing. Yeah, even there are times when you're probably your neck is sore from watching TV for too long, but doesn't mean you're building muscles over there. So yeah, that's a simple way of putting it. As my some muscle groups, some more than so others even more, both. Yeah, okay. Even if even after an intense workout, it can be just because it's sore doesn't mean it's growing. It just means that you have challenged yourself, you have broken down those tissues really, really well, have pushed your limits. But then if you need your muscles to grow, if you want to see more muscle mass, then again, like all those factors have to be taken into consideration. Uh, Ansh. Okay, Ansh. Hello. Hi. I know him. We went to K11 together. What if the person stops working out from a long, long time break, but still the person holds the muscle mass and he or she looks the same? The muscle mass does not drop in a bigger number. So is that possible? It is possible, yes. Or what will you say is genetic or something? It is genetic, yes, because I have seen people who even after not working out or never stepping into the fitness arena, they have good muscle mass. Some people, even after losing the ability to work out, like not working out, not being able to work out for more than a year, they still have good quality muscle mass. My brother is one of them, and that's purely genetic. So whatever he has received from, we both have received equal number of things from mom and dad, but things which have activated in him probably were not as active in me. So that part of like it's not genetic. Genetic is epigenetic. The extra genetic factors, the environmental factors, which played a huge role. Because starting from 8th or 9th standard, he started doing a lot of pull-up, push-up, and going to the gym. I started much later. So when you push yourself, when you put yourself in a situation where you're doing those activities much earlier in life, your epigenetic factors change so much that they help complement your gain, muscle gain, your they shape your muscle really, really differently. So all those cues, all those like genes pick up on all those factors really quickly, really well from environmental factors. What kind of nutrition you're providing it to, what kind of training, or whether you're training or not, whether you're challenging yourself or not, whether you're involved in different kind of activities. People like one good example is if you see kids who play football from school, even if they are very lean and lanky, their calf muscles are this thick, huge, because they are into those kind of activities. So they have great endurance, stamina, and they have really like tight, like thick calf muscles. So that's basically an example of both of your muscular, like your muscle mass generating, because you've been doing one particular activity for a very long period of time, and you've done it so much that muscles around that area has developed or overdeveloped. So definitely genetics or like epigenetic factors, your environmental cues, your nutrition, your activities early in life definitely decide where you land on that spectrum, and how much of a gain or loss you will have by the time you are, let's say, 20, in your early 20s, mid 20s, 30s, something like that. So yeah, definitely, it is there for people from a like so-called genetic point of view, and you can't do anything but to envy them or have jealousy towards them. That's all. So yeah, at least I'm jealous of those people. Okay. Okay. Does HIIT on for functional training also focus on all five components? Functional training, yes. HIIT, if you integrate movements which will have both strength component and cardio components, definitely it can hit all the five components at the same time. But you have to choose like categorically those movements which will target all at least those three movements, like your muscular endurance, cardiorespiratory endurance, and musculoskeletal strength. Yes. Does lower flexibility hamper muscle gain? Lower flexibility hamper muscle gain? Not directly, indirectly, yes, it has an effect. It can lead to muscle soreness. More muscle soreness means less recovery. Less recovery means obviously your muscles are not working up to full potential. So yes, definitely it can hamper muscle gain. Also, if we're talking about range of motion and all those things, then definitely flexibility can help you achieve a little more like lengthened version of your similar, like same muscle mass or same muscle which you've already had. So that range of motion can also impact or have some sort of impact in gaining the kind of full, like wholesome effect which you would have otherwise. So definitely, yeah, like to some extent, yes, for sure. Can older women also train for general fitness, or they need to focus on all the components too? General fitness should comply all these things. General fitness also include all these five components which we have discussed. It's like, okay, general fitness, physical, like sports specific fitness. General fitness component covers all these five factors. Sport specific fitness again also cover all these five factors, but one particular factor which is extra is the sport specific preparedness, which has to be there in your program card for you to perform better for whatever sport you're going for. Fitness is very sport specific. You want to do something, you have to do that particular activity more than other things, so if you want to get better at it. Is fat crime? No. Sweat, fat flying, yes, in a way, and no, in a way. Like the example which I gave, if you're sweating in the summer, you're not like पिघल नहीं जा रहा है fat body से ऐसे through sweat. People can literally see fat burning, like they're like, अरे अरे fat गल रहा है. घंटा हो रहा है. So basically, what's happening? If I talk about the chemical reaction, then yes, definitely, fat is going to burn, but through carbon dioxide repelling and the water which is coming out of that chemical reaction, that is what you see as a byproduct or waste product through sweat. Sweat is a component of fat loss, but it's not fat crime. Yes, it's a component of fat loss. It's a byproduct of fat loss in terms of in the form of water. I get cramps during intra workout. How to take care of that? Hydration status, and maybe probably put yourself on electrolytes, which can help you not get cramps. Because I have had one client who used to get extensive cramps in his lower abdomen and calf muscles, which are like the most prone areas for getting cramps. So either your hydration status is very very low, or you're not like your salt levels are really not replenished on a daily basis, because in summer it happens more that you're losing on your sodium and potassium levels much more than any other like the winter season. And winter may cramps happen for a separate reason. You're not hydrating yourself enough. So all those, like, it's a fine balance between those two. Yes, absolutely. Just increase your hydration status. Weight plateau. Okay, like not losing fat even though you are on deficit. So a really cool way of looking at it is you think you're eating less to lose fat, but you're not moving your body enough. You're eating less for sure, but that's not going to help you lose fat because your activity level is not matching your reduction in your caloric intake. So your caloric intake is here, and probably your like movement is here. It's never going to complement each other. If your caloric intake is low, let's say it's low, it has to be here, your movement throughout the day, in order for these two to match each other, so that you can go in a, like, even like with a caloric deficit, you can lose body fat if this difference between these two slabs is much higher. If it's not high enough, if it's close to each other, or if it's like similar or the same level, even though you're eating less, you're on a calorie deficit, you'll actually probably you'll gain more fat because hormonal changes will be going haywire in the body, and it'll be abrupted so much that it's going to mess up with your cortisol level, your sleep cycle, and everything. You'll be in a much worse mood, and that's going to impact your fat loss process. So if you want to achieve that, if you are hitting plateau, maybe you need to look at exactly how much you're moving your body on a daily basis. That movement has to happen more than your even with your reduced calorie intake. Is the time of day relevant to a workout? There was a research paper. Some people did a study on this. They found out women are more prone to working out in the morning, and they find it beneficial compared to men. Men find it more beneficial in terms of muscle growth or whatever their goals are in the evening. But again, the study was not. It did not consider a large cohort. So statistically, it's not that significant. Where I can tell you that this is an actual factor which plays a huge role. But definitely, what can happen if you're training in the early part of the day, your body is more active. You're burning throughout the day more because you're moving more. Let's say I'm assuming you're a working professional, so you'll be going in and out. You'll be going to the washroom. You'll go to fetch water. You'll cook. You'll do something. So that increases your activity level, and maybe you'll be more active. Your burn will happen more. Afterburn will happen more. For evenings, what happens, it may become a little problematic because you're already taking 2-3 meals a day before you come to the gym for a workout. So your blood glucose level is already a little on the higher side, and you, again with that, you're not the training is not complementary. You're not doing cardio movements enough, or you're not moving yourself enough. You're just simply doing some basic movements. You're coming home, you're again having your dinner, and you're going to bed. So that can probably have some sort of effect, but like research wise, I cannot give you a full-fledged answer that this is actually a fact, but it can be a deciding factor for sure. um, does my breathing pattern affect my performance and recovery? If yes, and how? Does my breathing pattern affect my performance? Breathing pattern, yes. Breathing pattern, yeah, sure. So there are two movements, like one concentric, one eccentric. Concentric is when the weight is coming down towards gravity. Eccentric is when you're pushing it against the gravity. So what time you are like breathing in and breathing out will have impact on how efficiently you're pushing or pulling the weight. And in that case, your recovery will be definitely much more slower. People have told me in real time here, when I have not told them deliberately how to breathe and when to breathe, when they're pushing the weight against gravity. Because what happens if it's a concentric movement, you're pushing the weight against gravity, you need to put extra efforts into moving the weight against gravitational force. So that time you need to expel the breath out. And I told them either exact opposite, or I didn't tell them anything. So that kind of impacted the way they were pulling or pushing, or it was inefficient for them to do it or consecutively do it for 3 sets. So definitely, if you don't know how to breathe or when to breathe, that can improve, that can affect your performance. And obviously, if you're not breathing in and out at the right time, it can hamper your recovery as well. So that's for sure. I'm not getting in too much detail, but definitely if you read about it, the breathing pattern, how to breathe, when to breathe, whether it's going to be shallow breathing through lungs, or it's going to be stomach breathing through your what is that muscle? diaphragm, diaphragmatic breathing or lung breathing. So those things also make a lot of difference. If you're doing structural lifts like squats, deadlifts, bench press, you need to breathe through your stomach. You need to breathe in there. You need to inflate your stomach so that you can pull in more breath, and you can push or pull a particular weight. When you're doing something supported compound, unsupported compounds, isolation movements, you don't need to breathe that heavy. So shallow breathing can actually work in those cases. Which is better for hypertrophy? Scenario one: individual performance as many individual okay performs as many reps as possible with a certain weight without eccentric control. Okay. Individual performs a limited number of reps with eccentric control with the same weight as scenario one. In both the scenario, the individual is performing the respective sets. Um, for a time duration of 1 minute. So TUT is 1 minute in both cases, which will build more muscle. Okay. Greater control, yes. If you have better eccentric control, then definitely that's going to, it's like pulling a brake. You're pulling, like you're coming down and you're like, products, you just come down. Definitely, first thing is it's going to cause injury. That's a like number one thing. Second thing is, if you do that, your muscle is not learning the stretch or it's not learning the control to lower it down towards the eccentric movement. So for muscle growth, both eccentric and concentric are like important. Those two make one repetition. So if I do consider that, then definitely pulling down when I'm doing, let's say, dumbbell chest press, when it's coming down I need to control the movement. When I'm pushing it up, maybe I can go a little faster. So those two things complementing with each other can definitely help better than individual performing as many reps as possible without controlling the eccentric movement. Time under tension is 1 minute in both cases. Okay. Yeah, the second scenario will build better muscle. I wouldn't say more muscle, that's not the right way of putting it, but definitely it's going to teach your muscles better control and motor, like the neuronal motor capacity of your muscles, the coordination between your motor neurons to your muscles, that firing, that control will be much better, which will teach you to do things much better in real life, or maybe it's going to be a baseline for doing other movements better. So yes, time under tension in the second case scenario will be better with the control eccentric movement. How to increase VO2 max? Which one is better, running or jogging or HIIT? Consider you don't want to lose muscle. How to increase VO2 max? So first of all, you need to know your resting heart rate. When you know your resting heart rate, you can know your maximum heart rate. Once you know resting heart rate, maximum heart rate, you can at least train in that particular category under the maximum heart rate so that it doesn't go beyond that range for any injuries or any incidents to happen. Now that you know your MHR, your maximum heart rate, you can design your cardio activities to be under that level where you can maximize your gain and you can control your VO2 max over a period of time. Which one's better? All are better, but definitely it has to be a combination of both. One of the days when you're doing cardio can be a steady state cardio, which can go in the zone 2 training. You can sustain it for longer times, like maybe 30-40 minutes without getting fatigued. And the other day you can do a little bit of HIIT training or functional training or intensity training, which will be beneficial, because those two things together, when you're doing a pulse movement, you're doing it for 30 second 1 minute rest, 30 second 1 minute rest, it gives your heart to recover, and at the same time the efficiency or the capacity increases of the heart and lungs, because the requirement is more. For steady state, it's good for fat loss, yes, but it doesn't build capacity as much as HIIT. But again, HIIT is risky, so you gotta be careful. HIIT ke tarah, it doesn't build as much because HIIT is steady state. So when you hit zone 2, when you're in the zone 2 range, your heart doesn't do much. It's just like simply sitting there and pumping blood here and there, like just like doing his job. So if you want to challenge yourself more, it has to be a combination of those two, both HIIT and steady state. Any more questions? Any more questions from people who are experts in this area?
I guess everyone is done with their questions. Yeah. Thank you everyone. So joining here on a Sunday morning and being so interactive audience, like asking so many questions and being so interactive. So yeah, thank you everyone.
Thanks.
yeah,
Thank you, Kiran. Thanks for introducing. Thanks, Aniket, for coordinating this session beautifully. Thank you so much.
It was very amazing, Rathijit.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot. Thank you so much. Thanks to all of you.
Yes, so we'll be conducting many more such webinars in future. So yeah, stay tuned for that. And yeah, bye everyone. Everyone can sign off.
Thanks, Isha. Thank you, Kiran. Thanks, Yash.
Bye-bye. Have a good day.
Subhash.
Thank you, Rathijit. Have a good day.